Recorded Books presents Apostles' Cove by William Kent Krueger, narrated by David Chandler. Prologue. The best of autumn was past. Color fallen from the trees, branches gone bare and black against a sky that had been overcast for days. This was always an unsettled time, after the flow of leaf peepers had dried up and before the snowmobilers arrived. Halloween was only a few days away. In the week following that celebration of ghouls and goblins, Cork O'Connor would close Sam's Place for the winter. 9 p.m., and it had already been hard dark for more than an hour. Cork prepared to bag the day's take for the drop at the First National Bank on Center Street. He was alone. The high school kids who'd been his crew that evening had finished up the cleaning and gone home. Cork sat in the back of the old Quonset hut, where he conducted both the business of Sam's Place and his occasional work as a private investigator. He had pulled a Leinenkugels from the fridge and sat sipping the beer and looking at the numbers he'd entered on his laptop. It had been a slow day, in a slow week, in a slow fall. He felt old. He had a birthday coming up in November, one he didn't feel at all like celebrating. He'd recently added cholesterol and blood pressure medications to his daily dose of multivitamins. He'd begun wearing glasses for reading. He couldn't remember the last time he'd gotten out of bed in the morning without feeling pain somewhere. He played basketball regularly at the Y with the old martyrs, a bunch of guys who had gray hair or no hair at all anymore. When each spring came in full, he biked a good deal, on-road and off. He could still paddle for a week in the Boundary waters and portage a 50-pound pack and canoe across several hundred rods. But the prospect of an upcoming birthday, of yet another step toward the inevitable decline of everything, weighed on him heavily and caused him, as he sat alone in Sam's Place, to consider the future darkly and ruminate with many regrets on the past. He thought of himself as a man of few words, well-chosen and unrevealing. He didn't want people worrying about him. So he hadn't shared with anyone, not his wife Rainey or his children or his friends, the depth of his dark considerations. It was his struggle alone, and he would get through it. He sat in a circle of harsh light from the overhead bulb. A stiff autumn wind blew outside, and occasionally a branch from one of the pines that grew next to the old Quonset hut scraped against the metal siding, a sound like the scratch of some wild creature trying to claw its way in. Otherwise, the place was deathly quiet. So when Cork's cell phone rang, that shattering of the stillness startled him. He fumbled the phone from his pocket and saw on the display that it was his son. Stephen currently lived in St. Paul with his wife Belle and was in his second year of law school. He'd secured an internship working for the Great North Innocence Project, an organization whose aim was to analyze old cases to determine if new evidence might overturn a wrongful conviction. Stephen was passionate about this work, and Cork was proud of him. But he missed his son, and maybe that was a part of the darkness he felt. "Hey, kiddo, what's up?" Cork said. "Still at Sam's Place?" Stephen asked. "Just closed up."
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.